Well, that didn't take long, now did it?
She is a fucking...
Okay, so I don't necessarily think this is her follow-up to I Disagree. Obviously, this is a deluxe edition. She had a little bit more that she had out there that she wanted to get out, so yeah. I mean, I think I just have to start this off with basically the standard edition review. Even though I did that already, I kind of just want to still give my 2 cents, and to be honest with you, I don't even like that review that much. So here, I got a chance to redo it. And what made the standard 10-track album so good was that you got a variety of a lot of different things, from nu metal into a lot of thrash metal and Japanese metal, some pop here and there. I mean, when you're getting like hit all over the place with a song like Concrete, and also have a metalcore breakdown like in Bite Your Teeth, but you can also have those softer, more synthwave type moments like on Nothing I Need and Sick of the Sun, it definitely is interesting, and it's one of those albums that doesn't get boring because you're so intrigued to hear what's next. And although some of these songs have grown on me like beforehand, Concrete wasn't necessarily one of my favorite songs, but the more and more I listen, the more and more interested I am in just continuing to listen to it. It was one of those ones where it threw me around a lot, and I think I was overwhelmed at first, but now listening to it, I realize it does it in the right way, and obviously it's basically showing the death of the old Poppy and in with the new, what we're getting now. And then you get tracks like Blood Money and Anything Like Me, which basically, attack her former partner, at this point Titanic Sinclair, along with Mars Argo and Anything Like Me. And her song I Disagree goes after the record label, how I guess they wouldn't let her do certain things that she wanted to do, and she basically was like, I don't agree with what you think about this and that and where you want me to go, I just don't see myself as that. And it made it all the better knowing that she was pissed off this time, and instead of singing about fashion and looking good and all that, it was about seeking revenge and seeking to just prove people wrong and being able to do what she wanted to do without being judged for it. And again, she did it in 10 tracks in 35 minutes. These 4 new tracks up the album to about a 45-minute runtime, which would be her longest running album to date, beating her 2018 album, Am I a Girl? Her first technically reaching over 40 minutes. Like I said, this is the deluxe edition, so obviously it's going to elongate the album a little bit more, but it's not a standard edition, so I don't necessarily know if it counts. But the 4 songs we got to hear is If It Bleeds, Bleep Bloop, Khaos x4, and Don't Ask. If It Bleeds was an interesting first track because Poppy it's like to me what I heard like a mixture of like punk like what you would get from like 80s punk, while also interpreting not necessarily some rap, but I guess more of that like nu metal she tries to do, but like one of the more softer nu metal where it's definitely more rapping than there is, and that kind of caught me off guard. But the song is actually really good. I like the beat that goes with it, the instrumentation, and the chorus is hella catchy. Gotta give her that. Very, very good one. And then Bleep Bloop is a short, just under 2-minute track that does its job. It kind of, to me, is like Blood Money Part 2, where you get the aggressiveness throughout. It's short run time, and it really does its job for what it was. Those were favorites from this extended edition from this album. Whereas Khaos x4 and Don't Ask fell in my okay. With Khaos x4, it's not necessarily that I don't like it. I see why it didn't make the album in the first place, because I feel like that is what she originally had planned for Concrete, but then kind of scrapped it and thought Concrete may have been a little bit better. I don't know, that would just be my thinking of it, but it's still a nice song, another one of those ones that throws you in a bunch of different directions, and it does it fine, but I just don't think it does it as well as Concrete, where you're sitting going, wow, this is mind-blowing. It's just kind of a typical track, but at least it shows you that she's definitely not leaving this metal thing anytime soon. She's still going to interpret that in her music from here on out, so I guess it's a good thing. It's when she became even more enjoyable than she already was. And with Don't Ask, it's like a shorter version of Don't Go Outside. As you know, Don't Go Outside finishes off the standard edition, and it's a 6-minute track, her longest to date recorded on an album. Don't Ask is another one under 3 minutes. All 4 of these tracks fall under 3 minutes, so it really wasn't that long of a listen. And Don't Ask, again, I feel like it's like ending the album again, and it does it nicely, but it's just not as intriguing as Don't Go Outside was, because you had those cool upbeat guitar moments, really good solos, and then of course, of all things, Don't Go Outside ends the album on a triangle hit, just one single triangle hit, and you're left going, huh, as intense as this album was, that's how the album ends. Just one single tap on the triangle. And Don't Ask, like I said, I guess it does its job for being another technical album closer, but it wasn't one that necessarily caught my eye, but it definitely can be an easy one to sing along to in this case.
She is a fucking...
So I've come up with 2 ratings for this thing, mainly because I want to still rate the album as if it was all one, but I also want to rate the 4 songs by themselves, not going like each track by track and rating them by themselves. I'm just saying the 4 tracks themselves, if you play those 4 together, the new tracks, get a 3.5 out of 5 combined. It was a nice listen, and it's not too painstaking. Like, if you don't like what you're hearing, you're going to get a little bit over 10 minutes of music. That's really all you're going to get if you listen to these 4 new tracks for the new album. It's nothing that's going to make you sit there and wait and think and wonder when is this over. So it's fine, and the songs are fine. Some I might go back to more than others, but that's just how this works sometimes. And the album rating overall, even with the 4 new tracks, stays the same as I originally had it, at a 9 out of 10. These songs don't necessarily do anything to bring the rating up anymore, but they don't also do enough to bring the rating down. It just kind of keeps it stagnant. Like, if these songs were actually on the standard edition of I Disagree, I don't necessarily think I would have a problem, but the fact is there's a reason these were left off the album, and it's because they weren't necessarily the best that she had to offer on it. But when it comes to a deluxe edition, and them being tracks for a deluxe edition, I think they're fine for what they are. They know what they are, and in the end, I don't really think any of these songs are going to be like super massive hits or anything. But some, you know, the 4 tracks can at least be remembered, and maybe some fan favorites out there. I mean, Lord knows when she'll get to sing these live again, but I can't wait to hear some of them live. They seemed very interesting, and I'm wondering how she can fit them in a live setting. So, yeah, that's basically it for this review of Poppy's deluxe edition of I Disagree. Next week, next Friday, there are going to be 2 album reviews. We're going to review another deluxe edition, and that is the Sleeping with Sirens, How It Feels to Be Lost deluxe edition. I'm pretty much going to do the same thing I did here, go through the standard, and then the new songs that are on it, which I believe are 5 new songs, and just kind of give you my rating of the 5 songs separately, and then my overall rating for the album, and see if it's changed, stayed the same, what have you. And also, the new Killers album comes out next week, so I will be reviewing that as well. But yeah, as I still stay on my hiatus where I'm doing pretty much reviews only, you can catch more of my top 10 albums of 2017 list, where I give you my number 1 favorite album from that year to celebrate my 3 years of album reviews. And then the following Wednesday after that, we start the worst of list, because, you know, when you're doing a best of list, you gotta have your worst of list too. So yeah, that's basically it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you're staying safe out there. And until then, I will catch you all in the next one.